saying that sometimes it's not racial. Sometimes you basically look a mess.
I don't understand, y'all. The sister says the restaurant would not let them, you know, into the restaurant. But look at how these women are dressed.
It just means it's their laws, not yours.
So first of all, they can't let her in because our dress is short. They can't let her in because they said our dress length is short. They can't let her in. Oh yeah, they said her shoulders.
Excessively revealing clothing or exposed undergarments are not permitted.
So we're here at Coco D. We had a reservation, guys, and I'm gonna show you what everybody's wearing because they're not letting us in because of what we're wearing. So first of all, they can't let her in because our dress is short. They can't let her in because they said our dress length is short. They can't let her in, but because of our chest.
Got my shoulders.
Oh yeah, they said her shoulders, and I will literally show you guys.
All right. Let's go back. So let's look at this girl here. It looked like she got on.
And I will
Watch
literally show you guys what other girls are wearing that are not us, by the way, and they're letting them in. Mind you, these girls.
So those girls got in. I want to look at this girl right here. Look at that. The yuggers are out.
Because our chest.
Got my shoulders.
Oh yeah, they said.
The yuggers are out. It looked like she about to put them on a plate. Restaurants don't want that. You look like you're about to walk the strip. We have to do better. The Godfather talked about this. Many men talked about this. I have the same codes, right? I'm an old school guy. I've been in corporate for the longest time. So you have to be presentable. These ladies walk around, don't care, think because they go to the club like that, this is good for a restaurant. It's not. Especially an upscale restaurant. That's what they try to get into. An upscale restaurant dressed like this.
Her shoulders. And I will literally show you guys what
they're gonna show some other
girls are wearing that are not us, by the way, and they're letting them in. Mind you, these girls just came out from Coco D, and they didn't even let us go inside at all. And they're letting them in. They're letting them in. Yeah.
Oh wow, that was amazing. I'm telling y'all what the one is even cute. There's been worse.
You know, the funny thing, I'm looking at them showing those girls, right? How do you know they got in? And how do you know they didn't pay somebody to look the other way? You don't know what's happening. They could have literally said, here you go. Can you think you can let us in? Then went to the manager and tipped them off something. Everything happens for a reason. But this is what restaurants are saying now. You guys got to see this because I saw this. This is another restaurant who feels the same way. Very popular.
Where supporting and defending.
Look what it says. Rue Chris Steakhouse gets black fatigue. Now they set no rules.
Your community just is, it becomes so exhausting that you feel this frustration and you start to understand why people have the black fatigue that they talk about. The Houston Rodeo, a family event. You have people there fighting, stealing, acting like menace to society, lawlessness, at an event that's supposed to be a fun, family-oriented
children.
event. You have Chris now saying, hey, we don't want to do this, but you guys are forcing our hand. We're going to have to enforce a dress code policy because how you guys are coming in here with your pants sagging, looking sloppy, all of these things, we just cannot allow. So then you sit back and you wonder why other races will say, we have black fatigue. Guess what? I'm black and I have black fatigue. I am tired of the wrong type of people in our community. Because let me preface this is not all black people. This is not. You have people over here making life miserable for other fellow Americans because you have no manners, you have no standards, you have no morals. I don't care how you were brought up. If you were raised in the hood, if you were raised in a suburb, I don't care. Having character and manners will always take you far. So no, I don't blame people when they say no, we don't want your kind over here. I'm hesitant. I don't blame them. I do not. Because if anything, what it shows is that you cannot call a pattern of facts racism and stereotype. Stereotypes all come from a truth. What concept?
I do feel really bad for these young ladies, I really do. Because the fact that they couldn't get into a certain facility or a certain club, restaurant, or whatever, that it isn't right, unfortunately. But you know what? I need you ladies to understand that sometimes it's a good thing you ain't meant to be there. Because in the end, y'all got to stop thinking that because somebody don't want you or somebody don't want you in an environment.
See, she's promoting that it's good for you not to be there. But if they have a dress code, right? Dress right. Address this issue.
That it's a bad thing, because really it's not. It just means it's their loss, not yours. They gonna lose money, not you. You telling your story means a lot of other black women are not gonna go to their club. And when they start losing money because of this, then they're gonna be begging black women to come into their club. No, don't worry about it. It's just like if I went to Miami and they told me that I couldn't go to a club, I just ain't going. I will find me something else to do. I'll find me somewhere else to go, because if you're basing me on my race or what I look like as far as my flaws and imperfections and you don't want me there, then it's fine. I don't have to go there. Y'all got to stop going places where they just don't want you at. And stop trying to be with people that don't want you and they prefer somebody else. Why do you think all these men...
Yeah, see, this is the problem. It's just, separate yourself. But why can't we be there too and not follow protocol? We have to follow. And you're right. You know what? If you don't want to follow protocol, don't go.
See, we got 3 young ladies who going out to dinner for one of their friends' birthday. They're dressed, look presentable, nice, and so on and so on. So then they get there, they reserved. They get there and they told them that they wasn't dressed properly. Okay, so now their plans have been canceled. Birthday girl plans are out the window. But yet, there were other people coming out dressed as they were. Same length of skirts, so on and so on. Now, do you feel as though it was unfair for them to go ahead and tell them not to come into the restaurant, that they was not dressed the proper way? Or do you feel as though they was just picking on them? What y'all think, my friends? Talk to me.
Of the incident that happened in, I think it's pronounced Coco D's restaurant in Houston. It was a group of black girls that were trying to go to the restaurant, and it was a group of 5. And of the 5, I think 3 of them were dressed appropriately or to the nine, or looked good in my opinion. The other 2, maybe not so much, or whatever, right? So they were turned away, and upon exiting, they noticed that there was a group of white women exiting that were dressed similar to them that were allowed entry, right? So I just finished watching, I think her name is Christina McKenzie. She's Rick Ross' ex-girlfriend. I just finished watching her take on it. And she was saying that sometimes it's not racial. Sometimes you basically look a mess. Like, you're too big, you look crazy, you should know better, whatever. And I think 2 things can be true at the same time. Like, sometimes not all things look good on everybody. That's number one. And an interesting story is when I worked for this company, and it was a clothing company, it was a retail company. And if you sold denim or casual wear, you were allowed to wear casual wear. And it was a 8-story building, and two of the top floors were casual. And they allowed us to wear jeans. We could wear jeans as long as we dressed them up, you know, make sure they look nice. Most of us would wear a blazer with our jeans. It was very fashion oriented, and the majority of the people that worked there were like fly. Like people really knew how to put that. It was in the early 2000s, and I remember there was a girl, like she was plus size, definitely like plus size, and we didn't carry jeans that fit her. And not only was she plus size, she wasn't really too fashionable, right? So she came in, she wore her jeans. They looked like Walmart jeans or whatever. And it's not like she put an effort into it. It looked like she just rolled out of bed and threw on her jeans. And, the managers, like, people talked, salespeople talk, we all, like, people talked or whatever. And what they did, instead of, like, speaking to her, because they couldn't do that, they stopped her whole floor from wearing jeans. So it was the seventh and the eighth floor could wear jeans, and she worked on the seventh floor. And they said that the seventh floor could no longer wear jeans because technically the seventh floor didn't sell jeans.
Well, actually, that was good on their part, right? They told everyone to stop them. But that is night and day from this. If the restaurant doesn't want anybody wearing what they were wearing, and most likely they weren't paying to get in, like the other ladies may have been, because they were looking at them and judging the restaurant off that. This is a whole different scenario. Let's keep moving.
We're wearing. So we're here at Coco D. We had a reservation, guys.
I don't understand, y'all. The sister says the restaurant would not let them, you know, into the restaurant. But look at how these women are dressed. Is this appropriate attire for a restaurant? I mean, the place looks, it looks like a 5-star restaurant. Look, if you're a
There we go.
business
Five
owner,
star.
you own the restaurant. Answer me this: would you allow these young women into your place of business dressed like this? And our people, we try to make it into a racial issue. We try to make it seem like this is some type of uh, discrimination. You see, this is I wouldn't allow you in my restaurant. No, not like this. See, the Bible tells you dress in modest apparel. You see, that's what the Bible says. That's what God says. Dress modestly. You're a daughter of the Most High, and this is how you come out of the house. And you will have mothers that will approve of this. They will say that, yes, you look cute. You know, you go into a 5-star restaurant. This is not cute. We have to do better as a people. We cannot go out in public, looking like, we walk in the street. You look like a streetwalker. If you want people to treat you with respect, then you have to dress the part. That's how it works. The Bible says you can tell a man by his look, his attire, the way he walks. You can tell a man what type of man he is by the way he dresses. And if you dress like a prostitute, then hey, people are not going to allow you in their place of business. It's not going to happen. You're gonna be embarrassed. You're gonna be disrespected because you don't respect yourself.
And you see him, a man, he brought the Bible into it, but it's necessary. Everything that's happening in this day and age is in the Bible. It's very relevant. It's the one book that's relevant for everything happening nowadays. Also, it's really the most popular book of prophecy out there. So many things that are in there have came true or has been proven true. And what's going on with Modern Woman? It's there. Ain't that something?
And this is Life Lessons. Apparently this video has gone viral, so I wanted to comment on it. So let's take a look and I'll be back.
They're not letting us in because of what we're wearing. So we're here at Coco D. We had a reservation, guys, and I'm gonna show you what everybody's wearing because they're not letting us in because of what we're wearing. So first of all, they can't let her in because our dress is short. They can't let her in because they said these girls just came out from Coco D and they didn't even let us go inside at all. And they're letting them in. They're letting them in. They're letting them in. Yeah.
Now, the first thing I did before I decided I wanted to comment on it, I went to their website, okay? And I go and says, the dress code reads, at Coco D, we strive to create a refined dining experience in a truly elegant setting to ensure a comfortable and sophisticated atmosphere for all our guests. We require appropriate attire. Our dress code encourages smart wear, I'm not sure what that is, business casual or professional attire to uphold our standards of elegance. Athletic wear, sleepwear, slippers, excessively revealing clothing, or exposed undergarments are not permitted. Management reserves the right to decline entry to guests who do not meet these requirements.
And it's funny because she showed the girl with the sleeves out. The things was just waka in their face. You can see through it. Just waka. I guess she thought she was attracting men. You're there to enjoy dinner with your girls. You know, it's crazy because they always say, I'm not dressed to go attract men. That's what you're going to be doing. And they don't want it there.
Now, another thing that came to my mind, I saw that they recorded women that were leaving that did not look like them. The question becomes in my mind, do you know for a fact that they dined in there? Do you? Now, another thing I want to say is, which is very common, and I'm going to say this.
Oh, you know what's funny? What she said? Right? She said, do you know that they dined in there? But you know what they probably offered? Because a lot of places like this, they probably said, we can't seat you to a table, but if you want, you can go over there by the bar. I'm sure something like that could have happened. And those ladies said, no problem, we'll go by that bar. When they would proposition the same thing, oh, I'm not even by the bar, no, I want to sit to the table. We celebrate. Could you imagine? Could you only imagine? Because something is going to come after they give a solution, right? Those ladies could have very well accepted that solution. That's why they ate. Pay attention. Learn when something is offered. Don't deny it because you're too good. I'm sure that happened.
Many operate under the belief that life is fair. It isn't. Many operate under the premise of what they would like it to be as opposed to what it is. Does that make it right? Absolutely not. But it makes it what it is. One of the questions I would ask, did you look at the dress code before you went to the restaurant?
Thank you.
And you know my word, serendipitous. What's serendipitous, I looked at a movie today that came out actually in 2018 called The Green Book. The Green Book is about the story of Dr. Don Shirley, who was a pianist, a black pianist, who world-renowned pianist, who decided to go on a concert tour down in the Deep South in the 60s. He lived in New York and decided to take a tour in the Deep South in the 60s. And he was chauffeured by an Italian, okay? Now, one of the scenes that was pivotal is that all these localities had elegant upper crust white folk, okay? The elite white folk that Dr. Shirley was coming to perform for them. So every time he went to perform, he was suited and booted. More specifically, he wore a tuxedo. The last leg of their trip, they were in Alabama, I believe.
Oh,
Alabama, Arkansas, one of the places. He was getting ready to perform. Now, it was what was it? trio. It was Dr. Shirley, and he had a bass and a celloist, I do believe. And those other two gentlemen were white. In addition to his chauffeur was white. On the last leg of the tour, it was Christmas. He was going to play for 400 white folk. He has a tuxedo on. He was not allowed to eat in the very establishment that he was about to entertain and play for these folks. True story. So my point is this. If he is dressed in a tuxedo, looking sharper than many who were actually there, can you imagine if he wasn't? And he still didn't get a chance to eat there. Now, my position is this. Don't beg anybody to take your money. If they don't want you there, you shouldn't want to be there. But the point I'm making is, it goes back to what I said we were taught, Gen X and older. We had to be twice as good to be considered good enough. And in the case of Dr. Shirley, not only was he twice as good, he was 4, 5, 6 times as good.
You know, it had to be her to tell it. And it had to be a lot of you that won't understand it. It takes age, it takes grace, right? It takes some know-how. What do I mean? Back then, the man didn't care. He didn't say, "Oh, they're not let me eat here." I'm sure he ate something in the back. If I was back in that day, I would have ate something in the back as well. I'm not going to complain, shout to the mountaintops. I'm going to keep moving, go to the next location, and perform. And you know what's funny? I'm sure he got called a knocker everywhere he went. Still didn't care. Didn't let it stop him from getting that bag. Shouts out to him. But this is the kind of attitude we need to have.
Their looks, and it shows. It is not even 9 o'clock in the morning and I am in full glam. My hair is done. I'm going to Pilates. Why am I doing this? Because why would I want to look basic when I can look good everywhere that I go? Do you not understand the opportunities that unlock as a woman whenever you just show up looking good and put together? All of a sudden people want to give you free things.
But you know what's funny, right? She's going to Pilates, but she's fully covered up. Because you know, girls go to the gym looking crazy. She has her makeup on and she's fully covered up. Why? Because she doesn't want to give off the wrong idea.
All of a sudden people want to network with you. All of a sudden there's a job opportunity that just opened up. Oh my goodness, you would be a perfect fit for the role. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, are you a model? Are you an actress? What do you do? Get my contact information. Let's connect. Let's work. Do you not understand the power of a woman who looks good, polished? Like, are we forgetting? The world runs on pretty privilege. Stop acting like it doesn't. Let's clock in and remember that your looks is literally your gateway to your next level.
Yeah, well, she says something. A lot of you ladies need to understand, right? How you present yourself is the gateway. How people perceive you is the gateway to your next opportunity. And what's happening is we're all throwing our opportunities in the trash and we don't realize it. Owning how you're viewed can make you tons of money.
Form of personal affirmation that lets other people know I value myself, I take care of myself, I'm worthy, I am valuable, and I am all that. Remember what I said about respect. Respect is mirrored. When a person sees that you have put in the effort to look put together, to look good, and then you carry yourself very elegantly, you carry yourself with grace, there's no way anybody will look at you and look down on you or look over you.
I had to finish it with those because a lot of us, you know, even some of us guys, we need to be presentable because you never know he'll be there. You never know who will see you. You know, it's kind of like I told my son, right? He was out here, we went to Taiwan, and he forgot to put deodorant on that day. And when the little 16-year-old, he was actually bigger than me, but when the 16-year-old doesn't put deodorant on, oh, he was wolfing, right? So he's going around. We said, son, Kay was there. You know, you got to put on deodorant. You don't know who's going to see you. That's exactly what we told him. Actually, Kay said it to him, right? And I already believe that wholeheartedly, but it's true. What if somebody saw him that can give him $1 million? That's what you have to think every day you leave your house. presentable. Same thing the Godfather talked about. Ladies going out the house in bonnets. That's a problem. We got to do better, and we must be more careful. But other than that, I just want to thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Peace out. See you next video.
The Iceman is coming!
Winter is here.